Hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for hanging with Uncle. I'm Gene, and I have something kind of important, to talk about, and that is civic engagement. And I know a lot of immediate reaction will be, oh, I don't want to get involved in anything, no. But look at what I mean by what civic engagement is, okay? Please. Being called for jury duty is civic engagement. We want to live in a civilized society, so we come together as a community to hear the guilt or innocence of people that live in our community, that have committed crimes in our community. We say we want to improve crime, but I don't want to get involved. Just by showing up for jury duty is a way to be civically engaged for the better of your community. Another real easy one is to be a poll worker. I volunteered to work a poll once just as an observer. It was peaceful, it was boring, it was just the way I wanted it to be. There was no hassle, no unethical behavior going on. People came in and voted, and the people actually working the polls, collecting the ballots, did their job. Civic engagement. That's how we know who wins races, by showing up and doing our job as a community. Small things. And an election happens one day every 2 years unless you have a special election going on. So it's not a huge commitment. Counting votes, another one. The votes don't magically count themselves. It takes people to interact to do that. Another way to be civically engaged. If you think there's fraud and corruption in the election process, volunteer to count votes. Be honest and just count them, and you'll understand the people that are doing their job take it seriously. They take pride in it. There's no funny business going on when votes are being counted at the recorder's office in whatever county you live in. So, one thing I do want to say, though, is that running for office is another very important thing you can do to be civically engaged. That means having people to get the word out about your candidacy, mailers, knocking on doors, meeting people. Those are things working in the community, and you have to explain to the citizens, the voters, why you're the candidate to improve their standard of living, because that's what they want. It's just a better quality of life, like we all do. So the messaging, I think, especially, is what I see that needs improvement. Now remember, I'm registered to vote, no party preference. So I'm not being a team player or a homer rooting for an individual. These are just facts the way I see them, a regular American person. This channel has 150 subscribers. I'm nobody. I am the voice of the unheard. I'm the voice of the people that are not cared about. That's, at least in my opinion, how I like to see this channel. So when it comes to voting, again, it's not left versus right. All I see the right do is lie, exaggerate. And I see the left not knowing how to combat those lies. And that's why Democrats have been very ineffective at winning elections. So this is not about left or right. This is about your civic engagement. Because you can run for things like mayor, county superintendent, school board, all things within your community. Believe it or not, being a precinct committee person is an elected position. That's somebody in your community that is supposed to be the voice that you go to or that helps organize messaging to get the people together to understand what's going on. All right? And again, the message is 2026 is coming. We can't get this wrong. This message cannot be left versus right any longer. If we don't start talking about how the top is using the left versus right as a tool for division for their profit, we're missing the boat. We're continuing the cycle of doom and destruction. So again, we've talked about healthcare. Let's talk about immigration. Okay, here's the boogeyman on that. Illegal aliens. All right, number one, that term is offensive because the majority of people that are here in the United States illegally are ones that have remained here on expired visas. So if you really want to talk about people being here illegally, let's start where it's the most rampant. But no, it's being used as a tool of division, as us versus them. We don't want to let criminals in the country. That's what Democrats want to do. And who benefits from that? The billionaires. The ones who want to control the labor of who gets what and leaves us out in the cold again. So I know I talked today a little longer than I normally do, so I'll cut it off here. Just wanted to share my thoughts on civic engagement and all the different things we can do. And I hope you consider running for office. I'm old. My time has come and gone. It's time for the younger generation to step up and continue the fight that we've been fighting the past 40 years, because we support you. We're not your enemy. We've been fighting the same fight. But for as long as I can remember, the messaging has never been portrayed to the American people as the top using the left and the right as a dividing tool for their personal profit. I would love to know your thoughts. Please leave them in the comment section below. I'm Gene. Thank you for hanging with Uncle. And as always, be kind to one another. Treat each other the way you want to be treated. And I'll see you next time.